Hello, my precious cinnamon rolls. My name is Phoephoe, and I'm here back again playing Loren, the Amazon Princess. Citadel. Shop. Sell all the stuff I don't need. Hang on, what? That's just an ordinary vest, that's fine. I'm not going to buy any more items at the moment. Grimoire. Tasks. That's to raise fame for the shop. Anything else to do here? We have to go to the crypts to investigate Volsk's armor, but let's go to other places first. Go to Chambara's hut. Loren and Eleanor led the party through the murky waters of the unforgiving swamps. Amma says, "Why'd we come back here again? My nose is about to fall off with a blasted stench." Amma says, "For last time, dwarf, to seek out the shapeshifter. Because there's a wet dwarf isn't exactly perfume either." They wound up in front of Chambara's hut for the second time, just before it showed no signs of being lived in. Eleanor says, "I'll go first." And knocked on the door, but no one answered. Eventually, she pushed it open. The inside was just as luxurious as when they had last found it, but Chambara was nowhere in sight. Eleanor says, "Where is she? Has she shapeshifted again?" "Chambara, we are friends." We just came to talk. Everyone was silent as they eyed every insect, chair, and candlesticks for any sign of the witch, but nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Eleanor says, "Witch, are you here?" Eleanor says, "Maybe she actually isn't here this time." It was still a response from anything. Parliamentary says, "She's not here, we've wasted our time, we should abandon her completely, no witch should be running our ranks." Continuing silence proved that indeed the house was empty, the party had no other way of contacting her. It says, "This was a waste of time, let's go." The party piled out of the house and back into the muggy swamps. Ray says, "Hold on, there are two sets of footprints going off in that direction." Ray pointed out the tracks on the ground where the party had not walked. And says, "But who's the second person?" Loren pulled out her sword and followed the footsteps. He says, "Let's find out." As they hunted for signs of Chambara, they picked up the scent of a campfire and followed it deep into the marsh. After some time, they finally found a campsite hidden in the trees. They could even hear a voice. Now, be nice, sugar." There was a man clad in unusual clothing and an enormous sword slung across his back. They crept close as silently as they could. He appeared to be tending a pet snake in a cage, but the snake was hissing at him. "You don't have to do better than that to scare me." The snake morphed into a giant scorpion. They instantly knew this was Chambara and that this man had captured her. Witch Hunter says, "You've already done that one, tis use your imagination." The visage of Chambara finally appeared. She pounced on the cage bars in anger. "When I get out, I'm going to scratch that smile off your face." By then, Loren was directly behind the man with the sword, nearing his neck. "Let her go." He turned around lazily, looked Loren up and down, then adjusted his hat. "Lose your way, gorgeous?" Loren made an inhuman sound, and Eleanor quickly stepped up to her side. "You're in possession of a friend, and you will let her go right now." Chambara says, "I can get out of here on my own. Go away, please." She says she does not want her help. We'd be going against her wishes if we freed her. Loren says, "Quiet, shapeshifter. You will accept our help and like it." Witch Hunter says, "Whoa, no, this wily thing is mine. I captured her fair and square." Loren says, "She won't hurt no one. Let her go." Witch Hunter says, "Her types are a crime against nature. I'm just doing everyone a favour." He says, "Why don't you just turn around and head on home?" Everyone spread out surrounding the Witch Hunter. After a brief staring contest, he realised it was considerably outnumbered. "Yeah, so that's how it's going to be here. Just my luck." He looked back at the cage and winked at Chambara. "Don't worry, honey. We'll meet again." Chambara heaved to emphasise how disgusted she was, but the man took no notice and found his way quickly out of the campsite and disappeared in the dark of the swamps. They moved to free Chambara from her cage, but before she could reach it, she slipped out from the cage by herself. Loren and Eleanor blinked in surprise. "Why were you in that cage if you could have escaped any time you wanted?" Chambara says, "I told you guys to leave me alone. I had it under control." Because it didn't look like everything was going according to plan on your side. Chambara says, "Letting people think they have power over you when they don't is the best trick in the book. Keeps them from finding out your real weaknesses." He says, "It's over now. Who was that man and why did he ever have you locked up?" Chambara says, "You're joking, right? He was obviously a witch hunter and a particularly revolting one at that. This one's been after me for years. It's so boring. Raven is his name." Chambara says, "Forget him. Why are you here? I want my swamps back. Go away." Chambara started walking away back towards our house. And says, "Come back here. We need to speak with you." She didn't stop or even slow, so Loren was forced to run after her and talk while walking. "Please, I would like you to fight in my army." Chambara says, "Nah." Loren gritted her teeth, unsure how to deal with such a response. People rarely refused her much. Loren says, "We saved your life." Chambara says, "Excuse me, you said my what?" Eleanor says, "The will is at war and we need you to fight." Chambara says, "Why do I care?" "This war is going to affect you too. You thought the witch hunters would stop, but they clearly haven't. There's no reason for you to do nothing anymore." You think you have me figured out, don't you? Don't forget your precious empire, and elves would burn me at the stake just as soon as any witch hunter. When Mantra says, you cast magic comically associated with demon, it would be difficult to convince the empire you are not evil, yes. Loren says, but she's not evil, she helped me find my mother. Your brother says, no, they're right, I'm evil. Chambara says, it does not matter what you are. You'll be dead if you do not fight. Fight with us and we will protect you. Excuse me. Chambara sighed and crossed her arms. You guys are annoying as that hunter. And says, but we don't wish you harm. She groaned and threw her hands up. Chambara says, if I have to choose between hog-tied by that filthy lout or being nagged to death by you guys, I'll just have to choose the lesser evil. And says, good. Chambara says, under one condition. And says, okay, what is it? You have to get rid of Raven for me. He knows where my home is, and no witch hunters get to know that and just walk away. Chambara says, you know, like you completely let him do. And says, would you be able to do that, mistress? And says, yes, Fit. Great. Chambara says, yippee. Chambara's personal quest. For a grudgingly grounded group as they left the swamps, Loren promised she was protected from anyone to hurt her, even allies. Magic would prove too useful and their knowledge too vital as the best way to find everybody to know all about them. Oh, we'll go into the unforgiving swamps. The swamps are full of dangerous animals and lizardmen, but precious gems can also be found. Do some hunting in the swamps. If you're in a big group, you have less chance of finding anything, but it will be safe. If you're in smaller groups, your chances will increase, encounters will be harder. Yes. And in a party of 6. Oh, they didn't spot anything. Okay. Go to the ruins. I think this is a shop. An ancient civilization was stood here, but is now overgrown with vegetation and lizardmen. Without the king, lizardmen were in complete chaos, but precious items can be still found inside the rooms. Tomb raiders and ruthless merchants are scouting the area. We already covered the most precious item from these ruins. I might be able to sell them to you. Not cheap though, eh? Chop. We got crossbow. Oop, no. Not significantly better than what we already got. Attack down. Oh, attack down. Yeah. Only have 900 pieces of gold at the moment, anyway. I'll come back here later. Lothar. In Lothar, they did not have to look far for the witch hunter. Numerous people were able to point their party in the direction of Raven's whereabouts. He was currently staying in a local inn and tavern. Jericho said, he's a popular fellow. Chambara snorted. I said, if he's in that tavern, we should strike him down. And Jericho said, sure. I says, I don't think that's wise. We're likely to end up in jail. Chambara says, whatever, have it your way so long as he eventually dies. Mesphit says, must we kill him? I believe we can talk him out of hunting for you instead. Chambara says, that's impossible. I says, but if we could. Chambara says, we're wasting time. Look, I'll transform into something small so I can follow you with, but once we're in that, I can't help you. Alright, so don't screw this up. Chambara instantly reduced inside and transformed into a black cat. He says, oh, she's so cute now. Jacob bent down to pet the cat, but it hissed at him. Yikes! Still moody though. Loren says, leave her alone and let's go. I think I hear him already. Loren led the group into a tavern next to him. Next to them, the cat weaved in between her legs, hopped up on a table, and inconspicuously started licking his fur. Loren says there. And I pointed across the room to a boisterous man dressed in the same peculiar clothes that they had found in the swamp. Loren says, hey, what do I got to do to get some services around the place? He slammed his tankard down on the table with a loud thud. The barmaid scurried over to get it, but when she turned to refill it, Raven smacked her on her rear. She squealed and tossed his drink back at him. He shut up. He says, watch it! He shook his hat before placing it on his head. Last it went, she almost ruined my hat. His head tightened on her swords, but Eleanor hoped she wouldn't attack, not in here. Loren says, no one could take a compliment these days. Think fast. He flipped a golden coin at the insulted barmaid. It bounced off her onto the floor. We headed to the door, causing the party members to suddenly act like patrons and hide their faces. The witch hunter frankly passed them without noticing. And says, come on, we have to follow him. They followed Raven in secret as he travelled through the city. He threw lazy greetings at people as he passed and tipped his hat to especially beautiful women. So far they were successfully undetected. Then the Sicilian entirely walked into the nearby woods, piquing their interest. Perhaps he had a campsite he was returning to. They're quietly sneaking behind him far into the arena area. He stopped and adjusted his hat. Alright, now that we're at the city, it's about time you explain to me why you're telling me. Loren sucked in a breath, so he knew all along he was being followed. Loren stepped out of hiding first and confronted him. Raven casually turned around, looking slightly amused. We had to stop your hunt on the witch Chambara. Raven says, "Oh yeah, what's it for you? Is she here right now? What is she this time? A crow?" Loren says, "Enough chatter." Raven took out her swords, but Eleanor rushed forward. "We won't kill you if you promise to give up witch hunting." Raven says, "You're cute with your little demands." On the side, still fixed on finding a peaceful solution, even though her patience was clearly already thin. There had to be a way to reason with him. I says, "I don't understand, why do you hunt witches?" Raven says, "Because they're evil. It's the same reason you hunt down demons without second thought. Bad things deserve to be punished. It's a decent thing to do." Eleanor didn't believe him. Raven thought himself above decency back in the tavern, so there had to be another reason. Blood. You crave battle, Eleanor says. You can't sit still in one place for too long and you need something to occupy your time, so you picked up witch hunting as a hobby, and Chambara has been a thrilling chase. Eleanor says, "I'm alright." Well, it looks like I've got a storyteller on hands. You don't know anything about who I am, so why would we try? It says, "We know enough. We watched you at the tavern. You were very rude." "You must not have been looking at me then." Eleanor says, "You bother a woman often, Raven?" "Watch your mouth now. I might not get away to speaking like me like honey. There'd be more to it." "Mother issues." Eleanor says, "Did your mother mistreat you as a child? Do you feel the need to take that vengeance out on whoever you meet?" Raven says, "Why are you asking all these blasted questions? You think I'm going to give up my career because you asked me?" "You deserve better. Forget hunting. Why have your life revolved around murder and death? You could do so much more with your life." "Murder and death? Sounds like an alright time." He says, "Boys." Heavily armed men stepped out from behind the trees with crooked grins on their faces. Raven says, "It's going to be a pity killing such fine-looking people, but well, that's just how the story goes. Stew them the shapeshifter, all in a day's work. Loren gladly rushed into battle." "Oh well. We don't have Chambara with us at the moment, so... mages. Ray, and let's have Kiki for a change." Got no healers, so we'll take out the Dark Elf first. Pull them in short. Let's see, do they reach to ice? They are, yes. Draco, let's see. Fire. Oh! I didn't even notice they died. Whoops. Wasn't paying attention. There we go. And Draco levels up. I'll put everything in well. We don't have skill points yet. And he says, blast it. David clutched his chest and fell to the ground. His hat rolled off and his body stilled. Complete. Ramos levels up. Strength. Kiki levels up. Strength. Elemental levels up. Will. We've still got some level 6 people, haven't we? Yep. Loren says, "He's been dealt with, now to tell Cham. Can't hit next to Loren." She looked down the cat-trap sword into Chambara. "Finally, that could not have taken any longer." Loren says, "I'm sorry, but I thought we could talk him out of it." Chambara says, good going. Chambara's eyes had shifted from being hostile to invasive as they roamed Eleanor's body. She shifted uncomfortably. Excuse me. Loren says, "We've kept our deal. You'll fight alongside us now, correct?" She rushed around inside. Chambara says, "Only for a little while. The swamp will devour my home if I'm not back home soon." Chambara says, "After force is defeated, you must do what you wish." Chambara joins the party. We can level her up. Everything in the will. Let's have a look at her skill tree in a sec. Soul Rot that does dark damage, earth damage, air. I want to get the full spell tree of that one because I think it's unique to her. And we'll do fire damage for that one. Chambara stepped into the ranks of Loren's army. Now full member of the party. She would always remind them of her desire to be back home, but she never failed to do her part. She spent more time with the group. Her realization of the situation grew, and so did her willingness to help, even if she had to mask it. Now we're going to the Dark Elves. party wandered into the desert, searching the Dark Elves village. Dark Elves were carrying around armor and weapons, so Forest Elves standing around directed them. And it says, what are the Forest Elves doing here? They thrown up to one of the elves in charge, they recognised her and bowed. It says, why are the Dark Elves armed? What is this? Haven't you heard? The elders have decided to grant amnesty to the Dark Elves in return for their service. Well, says, service? Eleanor watched the Dark Elves suiting up their armour sharp with their blades. You asked for them to be soldiers. Eleanor felt a bit disgusted by the revelation. The only way they could have equality was to risk their lives in battle. Chambara says, I did not expect to see these faces here again. Loren looked behind to see Chambara, the village elder, approaching them. He was also clad in heavy armour with a battle staff, despite the fact that he's clearly not, but no matter. Chambara says, you're to fight as well. Chambara looked her hard in the eye. This is what must be done for the sake of my people. Chambara says, that's just reckless if you ask me. Chambara says, we made up our minds, all of us have. Chambara says, you'll die. Chambara says, I'd rather die than remain a pariah. Loren says, it's his choice and we should respect it. Chambara's eyes lit up when he heard Chambara's voice. The Archwizard, here? Greetings, Chambara, it's been a long time. Chambara says, very long indeed, I did not expect to see a friendly human at this time. Chambara says, well, wait, you two know each other? Chambara says, we fought in the old war together. Chambara says, yes, it was me, you, and Astron against that vile demon first. I'm not surprised I was in my youth, but I hope I can still remember my old druid magic. Chambara says, Astron, you were friends with General Astron? Chambara says, very much so. His eyes dimmed as if he were recalling memories. I found him in the Orcish waste ambushed by many orcs. He was naive and headstrong, but I liked that about him. The times have changed. Chambara gripped his battle staff with dread. Eleanor says, how could it be so difficult to convince a man attacking to elves to stop if he was once friends with one? Loren says, maybe it's not so hard. Perhaps we should remind Sir Astron of the good deeds of elves. Loren says, they're settled to General Astron. Chambara says, also, I kept them from leaving, but he couldn't speak his mind right away. Loren says, what is it does to elf? You may tell us. Chambara says, my son Mesphit, he is missing. Excellent, looks like we'll be hunting him once more, Ray says. Chambara says, now we see who really is the monster between us. Ray says, Ray, he's not your charge anymore. Decision on how to deal with him are not yours alone. Chambara says, please do not kill him, I beg you, he's a good boy. Chambara says, if he is genuinely a threat to anyone, we cannot let him live. You must understand, demons cannot be allowed to roam free. Chambara says, I cannot excuse Mesphit's crime of dealing with demons, but not in league with them. He was driven to this. He told me how he felt trapped and powerless over our situation in the desert. He only wanted to help. I thought that you had all come to announce his death, but if he's still alive, you must return him to me, please. He says, I know only that he was speaking of the Cyclops before I managed to escape from my guardsman, He's not an evil person. The demon inside of him, that is not Mesphit, that is not my son. Loren says, we understand. Know that if he is dangerous, then he will be treated with the same hospitality that I give to any demon. Chambara's eyes darkened with the possibility. I suppose now there is some hope he may still live rather than none. I will cherish it in the time that you are gone. I'll find out where Mesphit is. Cyclopses. Paddy travelled to the last known hunting grounds of the Cyclops. Using Ray's tracking skills and his thorough knowledge of Mesphit, they were able to confirm exactly where he was headed. They went into a canyon and stopped where they saw a frightening Cyclops in the distance. It was too late to leave unnoticed. The monster stood up and looked right at them. I do not like this at all, Laura says. He says, we've slain many like him. And even Lauren's courage faltered as she felt the ground shake with every stop of the Cyclops he advanced towards the party. Laura says, be careful! He got suddenly charged at the party with an aggressive roar. And then the mightiest door stopped the Cyclops right in his tracks. He looked around in confusion. Beast sprang out from nowhere and attacked the Cyclops. The whole party stumbled backwards. He was mind in pain and ran in the opposite direction. His attacker did not chase him. Aye, the moon, Eleanor says. Eleanor slowly recognised the unusual demon to be Mesphit, but he looked very different. Quest completed. He suddenly faced the party, demonic eyes pulsing, fang teeth bared and dripping blood for his recent attack. Eleanor says, Mesphit? Ray says, gotcha. Ray cocked his crossbow and aimed right for the Dark Elf's head. Eleanor sheathed her sword and rushed towards Mesphit. Ray says, Eleanor! She did not stop and confronted the demonic elf directly. He growled in a mixture of primal instinct and recognition. Eleanor slapped Mesphit clean across the face. The entire group gasped as Mesphit reeled back with a snap of his teeth. Eleanor says, what's wrong with you? Your father thinks you're dead. You keep breaking his heart and ruining everything the Dark Elves are fighting for. Eleanor says, you hurt your own brothers escaping your isolation, and for what? You're just roaming around out here. Eleanor says, I think it's time you stop being so selfish. Mesphit breathing unfilled in low growls as he just scowled at Eleanor and her words. Loren was on edge, afraid for her companion's life. Slowly the Dark Elf's breathing and form both returned to normal. The colour of his eyes returned and his beastly features subsided. He was finally only looking at Eleanor with a hard gaze. Eleanor says, there, that's better. The hand on Eleanor's arm pulled away from Mesphit. Karen directed her away and out of danger with all while her spear was aimed to kill. Loren says, your terror runs down. Mesphit was suddenly very afraid of the sight of Loren's ancient sword. It says, so you decided we're to kill him? Loren says, he's the very enemy we are trying to eliminate. The demon should be given no quarter. Loren says, but he's not a demon. He's only a dark elf has been corrupted. He says, which is his own choice, mind you. He asked for this. Mesphit says, no. Loren started to hear his normal voice. I didn't ask for this. Draco says, do you have some sort of demon disease? You're contagious. She said I would be given power and I had no ability to say no. Her sword shook as if she wanted to believe him, but she was still torn. Loren says, he's a demon. Loren says, he was not born and never born, only part of it is corrupted, and a part that can obviously be tamed. And looked over at Enlil with interest. Mesphit says, do not speak of me as if I am not here. Loren says, you won't be here, your life is in our hands if you've forgotten. Mesphit's breathing started to quicken in response to the threat. Eleanor says, Loren, no, lower your sword, you're stirring the demon inside of him. Eleanor wanted to see if Mesphit could reject his demon side, because if he could, then he could be redeemed. Mesphit stared at them all for a long moment. The entire group waited on which to see which form it would take. He suddenly bolted away from them. He ran quickly across the sands to escape. He says, I got him! They shot him and Mesphit was running with demon speed. He attempted to catch up with him. It was only a matter of time before they lost him completely. The party slowed to a halt and caught their breath. And Polymath says, he has disappeared. He says, blast him. He says, not as easy as it looks, is it? He has an unfair advantage. Loren says, we need to hunt him down. Eleanor heard something to her side. It could easily been an animal, but intuition hinted at something more. And I'm going to end this episode here. Hi, this is Phoephoe. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, comment, and if you really liked it, please subscribe.